draft that's built entirely on Radon doing everything for his team. And that didn't work in game 2, but in this game 3, they're more protected, they're more enabled. It's cool. It could work. It could work.
The biggest fear for Spirit is a repeat of the previous game, where like Medusa gets to Manta Butterfly, XM has any item he wants to buy from his laning phase, and they are just moving down lanes with Aegis. Like if they overcome that kind of Aegis Butterfly timing, then the game opens up for Spirit, but there could be a world where the lanes are so strong for Xtreme that Spirit struggled to get in.
I also just want to point out there's no vision for Tombstone. Only Phoenix provides vision. They removed the vision from Sticky Napalm. If this Tombstone is placed on cliffs and you don't have Supernova, like how are you going to fight in the early game?
Please be a 60-minute game. That's all I ask for. With these heroes, like I'll be here till midnight. I don't care. Like this, please be a 60-minute game.
I just hope it is an even game and we are going to see a very competitive third and final game to this best of 3 elimination series. Let's get into it together with ODPixel and Fog.
Prepare for battle.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yes, game 3 deciding time here between Team Spirit and Xtreme Gaming. The last game on this road to the International for one of these two teams, Fogged.
Why do we have to be in this position? Why do we have to send one of them home? But that's the best part about TI is seeing these players cry when they go home. Just kidding. But this should be really exciting when we do have, of course, these late game monstrosities. The TB versus the Dusa. I saw people saying it. You know, people are looking at all the viewers and everything. They're like, it's gonna come. This Radon Terrorblade, it's going to come at some point, and what other better place than this? The elimination game. Absolutely. Is it going to work, though?
Is it? I mean, are the things on Xtreme Gaming's lineup going to work? We're seeing some picks that are like the Undying. It comes out here on the all-important game, not a support that a lot of teams have been touching.
No, but definitely can see the reason. I mean, yeah, the Tombstone could be very threatening in some situations if they don't have a great way to get vision, like Mira was saying. This is an interesting one, because one of the abilities also on Undying is kind of just dead. Soul Rip when you're playing with Dusa is pretty bad, but I guess he can't Soul Rip others. That's also not ability really skilled till way later on, so playing mostly around Decay and the Tombstone. We'll see how this ends up going down. We'll see how these lanes do go down, because they did, I know they ended up, they said at the end there, the Centaur pick into the Mars sometimes can be a bit of a risk, because if you don't stampede early, you just get stuck inside that arena. If you don't reset away, you can just be trapped, so... We'll see how these fights do kick off, and we'll see how these lanes go in particular, because last game, the game was over after lane.
It was. I mean, on paper, right, when you look at the matchups, nothing in the early game should be as extremely one-sided as the Storm sniper situation in the last game, right?
No, definitely not.
So that's something going for the early game, at least for Team Spirit, as that very much was the beginning of their struggles in that game too.
This top lane could be a little bit weird. That's the one thing. Batrider is very good to be able to trade versus an Undying, but the one thing is like Undying can sometimes just devastate lanes if he gets too many double decays, and it does get one right there. So we'll see how Collapse is going to be able to do, because I think this is the one this will probably be the most difficult lane for Spirit.
I'll see how well they can play these early levels. And see, just sort of overall, when you look back at some of the patches, I mean, obviously these heroes have changed over time, but historically, Terrorblade, Medusa, and when you consider the changes in the position that these carriers are in now, how do they sort of match up? How are the timings against one another?
I don't know how they match up nowadays, because things have changed quite a lot. But in the past, a lot of the TB players liked playing that matchup versus the Dusa, because you have this reflection. It ends up working well versus her and versus her team and stuff, but who knows nowadays? With the way the Medusa changed so much, it's like a completely different hero almost in a way, because you have these extra nukes. You have your Facet in particular also makes you so much stronger, because you have a literal passive that makes you do more damage. It's just different, you know. It's just very, very different match.
So Jinq was taking the creeps for a bit of a walk, but Poshka ready to contest it.
And bottom, in particular for the side of Spirit, this is a pretty strong lane. They do have the TB versus a Tusk Centaur, which is a little awkward, because the Drinking Buddies overall isn't going to be the most useful with a hero like Centaur. Not horrible, but it's not like, you know, a ranged hero that benefits the maximum from it. So we'll see how much they can actually apply pressure onto that safe lane of Spirit as well. I feel like both safe laners are going to free farm, which usually means we're in for an explosive later stage of a game.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, with the lane situation playing out down bottom, it's going to be a very slow start for farm of XXS.
Nice deny. DY. Yeah, maybe XXS actually will have a harder time than Collapse will.
Yeah, I mean, these first few waves, he's barely been able to touch any of the creeps here, XXS.
We'll have to see as the lane continues. Yeah, this is going to be an off-lane struggle. Carries free farm. And mid lane, as you said, you know, DK, he's going to do pretty much even versus that sniper in particular compared to last time when Laurel just got totally owned.
Yeah, I mean, Lal is... he's just going to be feeling fantastic.
Oh.
Yeah, compared to what was going on last game, this time around on the DK, he at least gets to play the lane and indeed maybe have a little bit of an edge if he's able to get some nice denies in against XM Sniper. Either way, it's going to be close. Last game, it was not.
Mira? Yeah, he was level 5 when the sniper hit 7 in the last one. So that was probably one of the most one-sided affairs, at least in the mid matchup that I've seen. Sometimes it just happens, you know, the sniper, especially someone like XM, like one of the most comfortable sniper players. It can't happen, but versus DK, a lot harder. Yeah, it was just even. And XXS is starting to get a couple more last hits down here.
Having sort of just similar levels of struggle to that of Collapse on the other side of the map.
Pretty much the same. Collapse, though. Big hit. Not enough damage. Almost.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, just having double nuke. Double nuke on this Medusa. It's so nice when you're just reducing their strength so much with this Undying. It's really causing problems for Collapse.
A lot of focus around the mid there. Jinkyu did head over to see if there was a chance to get in on top of Lal, but wasn't to be the case. They've got that vision set up around the mid. He's also able to take over the Watcher, so a lot of information that Xtreme Gaming are getting around this mid portion, and also, of course, around the triangle, I guess, in terms of just checking for stack potential.
Yeah, they blocked it as well, too, right? They put that sentry from earlier. They're playing versus Batrider, so they also are playing versus that Collapse March, which they probably expect to have a hard lane, so just making sure that they can know if any of those stacks are going out. Also, this tournament just has an absolutely insane amount of stacks, especially in that like Aurora versus Heroic game, but just means that Mira's going to play the lane, so he's going to look to trade a little bit more with Ame. And things across the board on CS are looking pretty dead.
I mean, it's pretty crazy stuff. Yeah, coming up to 5 minutes in, and it really couldn't be closer on the last hits across all fronts.
Yeah, this is exactly what we would want for this game 3. Who's going to be the first to die?
Yeah,
Who's going to go down? Collapse has been sitting quite low, but...
He has, but he usually tends to do this, right, Collapse?
He does.
I feel like he knows the limits of his offlane heroes, so you'll generally get to see him sitting as low as he does, but very rarely giving up that first blood.
Yeah, he's hanging on to the 8-stick charges, so...
Yeah.
Could potentially even see... Like, Tombstone is now gone, so maybe even... Demo does have to be a little bit cautious how far he steps up also.
I feel like, if anything, probably the most likely lane to get a kill in is maybe bottom for Spirit around a good metamorphosis if Xtreme Gaming, if the two of them overcommit.
But he can just Drinking Buddies yank him out, right? I mean, I guess if they overcommit, yeah. But I just feel like Xingqiu has so much defensive capability that, I don't know.
I guess it's hard. It's hard to find a kill in this game.
But
or anybody early on.
That's not what Dota's about, though, as we saw in that last game. You know, not the most kills, and the game ended pretty abruptly.
Absolutely.
Mira? Is that a little bit of a sneaky move? What he looks to do here. 6 minutes coming in. Power Rune going to be checked. Xingqiu is going to make the first rotation, at least to break these lanes at the moment. Claiming a bounty as well, too.
There'll be a shield rune.
Feels like the difference in gold is literally just those bounties that he's claimed, since the CS is pretty much even across the board. Now the TB's starting to pull a little bit ahead, though.
Ah, mate. They're just not going to die at all. 20 charges on the wand. He's got a mango as well.
Chilling.
Super safe against these two. It's going to take a +1 to come in. I mean, that very much is the story for any of these lanes, it feels. There's got to be a rotation when it comes to finding the early action. But, yeah, both teams, they're very happy to play this passively, especially the carries, right? You know, Radan came here to hit creeps on the TB, and Ame, he came here to hit creeps on the Medusa.
100%. Mira, XM is making a move. Can they get the lineup? Does he have the range for the assassinate? Guess not. He had the healing lotus, so maybe it was okay anyway.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, level 1 assassin. Yeah, I think it would have survived.
Yeah, it would have been.
Just a couple of stick charges in the lotus. Yeah.
XM
knows, doesn't go for it.
And let's see where that first move. I mean, Poshka also now looking to at least contest and walk to check for some wards, and maybe it'll be mid. We'll see. Laurel has DK form active, but who knows who's going to go down first.
I mean, at this pace, I feel it's more likely we're going to see a tier 1 go down before anyone dies.
Perhaps. XM farming some stacks. Laurel farming some stacks. Both mid laners being a little bit cautious when supports go missing.
I mean, you got to be cautious. You know, this could be your final game here on the road to the international.
0-0. Yeah, you know that this is one of those lower bracket eliminations.
Oh,
you see
it
that.
is. It is.
Boshka, he's got the dive. Stampede is online. All right.
Okay, that could get some action going. Top lane, the spear does connect onto DY.
Mira.
He's going to try and fight in under the tombstone. It's not going to go well for him as Xtreme find first blood.
And
As DY takes Mira down. Rotation comes in with the snowball. They're ready to take out Collapse as well. They lead him with the snowball. Collapse, he's also going to fall. Xtreme, they'll find the first 2 kills to start this game off.
And they didn't have to use the Stampede. They could have actually used it earlier in case of anything they wanted to say, but DY was confident. And even if DY dies, it would have been first blood, but it's at the point where it instant respawns. Because we have already made it to this like 8-minute mark. So the Ceaseless Dirge would have kicked in. Bottom.
Got the turn up from XM. He's got an Assassinate coming in. Maposhka's going to try and sunray away, but the Assassinate will finish him off. Another kill to be found from Xtreme as on both the top lane and the bottom lane. Team Spirit, some of them getting a little too aggressive and not... underestimating the potential for Xtreme to turn these plays around. Xtreme, they're pretty strong in this early game.
Up to a 2K lead just off of that one. I believe they got all the bounties that spawned on the bottom side. They got all the ones that spawned on their side too, and these early kills. So now you're starting to see the reflection in that gold already up to 2K.
At DY. And he's ready to start wandering across the map. Same to be said for XM.
They want to apply more pressure. XM's starting to feel his power.
And then the Metamorphosis is on cooldown for a long time for Radan.
Radiant's bottom tower
is in trouble. So
Radan's out of there.
He's going toward top. Ame is sticking around up here. Collapse is going to go for it.
See if they've got the damage. Is there going to be any backup coming in for Ame? They've got the Stampede to try and get him away. It's going to work. They don't have anywhere close to enough damage to threaten the Medusa. Even if the Metamorphosis was up, unlikely that they were going to threaten Ame. Back over in the mid, Spirit. Trying to go for the setup onto Jing Q. He's going to be able to drag himself away with the drinking buddies. He's out.
Oh, this ability
TPs are coming in as well. Quick Dragon Tail will stop XXS from getting a chance to set up with a stomp. But again, Xtreme, they're putting a stop to any of these early game moves that Spirit are trying to get going.
And XXS already has his farming item finished. He already has his Blade Mail. So 800 ahead, that of the Mars, and now he can park himself in mid lane. You don't really want to go on this Centaur by any means. A very strong early game again from the side of Xtreme.
And we saw what they were able to do with a solid lead last game. Things started to speed up very quickly. It's going to be a bit more difficult to do that this time round, considering the nature of their heroes. But without a doubt, if they can continue to respond to Spirit in this fashion, they can absolutely continue to just grow this lead and make it very difficult for Spirit to fight their way back into the game.
Yeah, by no means this game do they have that type of tempo push.
Just close in 20.
Like that one comes when you have this like Visage and everything in combination with dominating lanes. It just starts to accelerate. This one, it's definitely going to be a bit of a longer one. It's definitely exciting because we could have some really nice mid-game team fights. The first blink, it's online.
Okay.
So Laurel definitely wants to start dictating the pace a little bit, trying to get onto some of these fragile backliners.
Collapse is also about to have Arena back online, so some of the tools coming together that could allow Spirit to make a move happen. They're going to smoke up with the two of them. Maposhka, of course, yet to hit the 6 himself, so this will be without the Supernova. Just trying to find something off the back of the Blink Dagger on Lyle.
Oh, what a timing for XM to move out of there, though. We'll be able to sneak himself away. Slow little dwarf.
Back over towards the mid.
Mira.
They might be able to have a chance to go for him. They've got the setup.
They share up.
He's going to get up to the high ground, but Assassinate, bam! Comes in, takes him out.
And this
XM getting easy kills and can put the pressure onto the tier 1. Same time, bottom lane, Radan trying to take down the tier 1 himself, but there's TPs available. The setup's there, but Lyle able to put a stop to who stop attempt from XXS with a quick Dragon Tail. But that does mean he's the one to get left behind. He'll try for a TP out, but XM, he knew it was coming, immediately started getting the Assassinate going to make sure that Lyle cannot escape.
5-0. XM is everywhere. This sniper, 3 of the kills because of him, his little rotations.
He's doing a lot.
Sometimes you wouldn't really expect all the time. It's like, oh, DK rotating and a sniper rotating. The sniper rotations are working just a little bit better. They bring 5 bottom. They cancel some TPs, but very good defense. They're punishing pretty much every single one of Spirit's aggressive moves beautifully.
Yeah, excellent move so far from Xtreme.
And now the mid tower. This is reminiscent of that last game. Mid tower's going down.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
5K lead.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I'll see how Radan can keep up in farm here as the pressure starts to build up against him.
Ame's already got almost Manta. Absolutely massive. And these two cores are huge. And that was Laurel's blink reveal, right? Bottom. So that does not feel good for the side of Spirit at all. If your first aggressive move just gets completely halted.
And so with Radan's approach as well, by the looks of it, what you go for this defusal as the Terrorblade, and then you just look to fight.
I think he probably feels like they kind of have to with the pace of the game, that he's going to have to start turning up a little bit more, because their damage is definitely going to be a bit lackluster if he's not the one wailing into this arena. Especially versus Medusa. Like, Batrider and Phoenix aren't really going to provide too much versus a Medusa draft inside that arena. So yeah, maybe Yatoro's feeling pressure to just have to get involved earlier on. He's got it done pretty much. They have 5k lead already. That is pretty massive. DY even just playing inside the enemy triangle, stealing jungle. And he has no fear up here. Concerns for Spirit.
We've got quite some catching up to do.
Quite some catching up to do, and overall just starting to look at things of how they deal with Ame. Yes, you have this TB who's getting the defusal, but it feels like nobody else actually has a good answer versus him. Maybe even the Terrorblade's not a great answer with the defusal, we'll have to see. Mira is doing a bit of a sneaky play. Looks like he will actually get away with stealing this wisdom. Ame was over here, but he just decided to push the lane instead, so... Silver lining for Team Spirit. They do get these 2 wisdoms at the 14-minute mark.
Xtreme, they could be ready to look for another move. So the Blink Blade Mail online for XXS.
They're so strong in these fights on the side of XG.
If they get the jump, they'll get the kills very quickly. I mean, XXS, he's already on top of Radan. He's moving in onto him. Radan, has he got any way to play his way out of this? The arena will come out. He's able to turn with the sun, deposit the metamorphosis. He looks towards XM. The tornado's there now. He's out with the stampede. And look towards XM. He'll finally fall. Mirror also to fall in response. XXS has to come on to collapse. Radan, he's caught in the corner. DY and Ame will bring him down. An awkward spot there for Spirit to try and fight in. They lose Radan. Ame cleans up. Sorry, it was a snowball, not a tornado. There's no tornadoes going on here. But how did they end up in that position, Fogged?
They just wanted to back up Radan because he's up there alone, but he gets completely isolated. Honestly, XM almost doesn't even die. He's so tanky on the sniper with this build. 1700 HP. And Ame's just getting away with everything. This
Medusa is... it's looking beautiful. 104 on Ame. The Skadi, he's going to start working on that now. If this continues, it's going to be incredibly quick timings for this Medusa pick. And you can tell Ame's having fun with it. First game, right. We heard from them during the draft that he wanted to play some Moeta. I bet you this game 3, he probably came into it at the start of the draft, said, I want to play some Medusa. So far, it's looking great.
It was banned out in both of those 2 games before, and it really is starting to look absolutely beautiful. Laurel, he goes Blink. They have Mars with a Blink too, so their damage, it's literally only really going to come from Radan at this point, and he is pretty cooldown reliant. Has to show up with meta. It's the reason we don't see this one too often right now, and Xtreme are just capitalizing beautifully after these lanes.
And they can get on top of him. They can kill him. The fights are going to be so difficult for Radan to turn up to.
And Ame's farm is just getting absolutely out of control, as you said. Yeah, Manta, he's got the ulti orb also finished up too.
He is massive for 16 minutes in.
They all really are. DY also has a Pavis, so he's also decently farmed on this Undying. Collapse blinking in.
DY will drop the tombstone. And they have to drop the arena for this.
He's outside.
XM, but indeed he's outside of the arena, so he's perfectly fine. The jump comes in from XXS. They're going to take down Mirror. The Supernova will come out, but XM's perfectly fine at a safe distance away from the egg, away from it all. They'll kill off Mirror, they'll kill off Collapse, and they're ready to try and chase him for more. The zombies chasing down Lyle. The shards won't quite grab onto them, but the stun from XXS in with the blink storm. Ame wraps around with the stone gaze. Lyle's taken out. Maposhka trying to escape up to the high ground, but he cannot get away from them as Xtreme will slowly but surely take him out as well. 4 dead, double kill for Ame. It's 11-1, 8k leader at 17 minutes in. It's almost as if this game is going faster than game 2.
It feels like
it. With this draft, Xtreme Gaming, after that game 1, game 2, they walk over Spirit. Now game 3, they are doing it in in a very Xtreme Gaming style.
They're speed running it. It does feel like it. That's a perfect fight for them.
Yeah.
Sniper doesn't get caught in the arena. DY is just standing inside of it. They can't even finish off the Undying, and even if they kill him, he instantly respawns back at the base. He'd be able to come right back in. They're getting nothing, Spirit. Things are crumbling faster and faster, and trying to think of how they can try to
what do they do?
stabilize things, and it feels like it might just be like sitting back and farming, but that doesn't even feel good either.
It's going to take something crazy from Spirit to slow this one down.
This is a tanky Centaur. They've got decent damage with 4 heroes here, but is it enough?
Got the blade mail off before the lasso. It's on the retreat. The snowball there as well. I mean, Jinkyu trying to get XXS back to safety, but he will get taken out. They should be able to turn towards Jinkyu here with the damage from the Metamorphosis. From the backlines, XM shot down Lyle. Rodan gets the double kill. See if they can get out, though. And Poshkara, he certainly cannot. Now Collapse. Also got to be careful with one of the zombies starting to go at him. Rodan
is under attack.
In the meanwhile, just Ame is just farming, though, right? So they're trying to make these moves with 5 heroes because it feels like it's like these desperate moves, but Ame's like, this is great.
And he's going to have a Skadi.
He is
18 minutes in, Manta Skadi. This is crazy timings.
His team doesn't need him either. They can actually fight versus Spirit without him at this point because of how far ahead they are. And XM, he actually almost has a BKB on top of everything too. So even tankier. Hey, with BKB, he might not even die if they throw everything.
I think so. Even if they sort of get the setup with the arena into the egg, if they can't find the chain stun to just completely control him, he's going to be able to turn and take down that supernova.
And XXS is getting closer and closer to having a Crimson Guard too, which... Oy, oy, oy. He is a tanky beast on this Centaur. It's going to block so much of the damage that Spirit is already lacking. DY. Aggressively postured because he's got Ame.
Indeed, he's going to get the tombstone drop down. They've got the Stampede as well. The Hoop as well. It's a beautiful jump straight on the mirror. Rodan. Punch him as well. Rodan. Can he get the Sunder off? He can. The arena is there with the spear connection over towards XXS, but he's tanky enough to walk it off. They can't quite.
Here comes XM.
Rodan getting sniped down by XM. Double kill for DY. Spirit, they've got to run.
12,000 lead. They're just continuing to dive forward. Jinkyu wants more. Can't find it, but the tower in jeopardy. There's no glyph.
These fights are just proving to be all too much for Spirit.
They can't kill a target. They got a huge Sunder. It gets XXS at what? 10% HP or less. He gets mech'd. He gets soul ripped up. He's just fine. An incredibly one-sided affair so far in this game 3, and it's not looking to have many hope for Spirit. Radon, it turns up and dies. And that's the BKB now done for the Sniper. So on top of having damage item, he's got that extra survivability. Crimson soon for the Centaur and Ame. I think looking at Ame just looks... definitely puts some fear into anybody here.
Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, this is the thing as well. I think, last game was about, 26 minutes in. This game, it was like that 6 minute, 7 minute mark. It felt like we were going to have a nice slow pace, a bit of a build-up. But no, Xtreme Gaming, they said no. They turned the heat up. They're taking over the game incredibly quickly. And this sort of lead with their lineup at 20 minutes in, it's quite a sight to see.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to break that kind of lead too when they've got a dual core that's very good to play versus something like Terrorblade. You know, they've got this distance at this point with these type of items that they really can shut him down hard. And Ame already has. It's just crazy the timing, right? The Scotty this early versus these range cores. That's beautiful. Beautiful so far from XG. And they give him an Aegis. Okay.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck.
Done it once, now you got to do it twice.
Overall, also, I do have to give a lot of credit to DY. I know I'm talking a lot about these cores, XM and everything, but DY, this is an Undying, a hero we're not really seeing too much. He's 14 of the 15 kills for his team.
That's MVP worthy at the moment.
Like, this hero
doing
sometimes
Undying.
doesn't move, doesn't do much anything. DY is leading the charge, making plays. Maybe we could see some more of this hero coming in.
Carl? He's cool. He's cool.
He's all right.
Radon desperately trying to find what farm he can on the map. Again, considering the circumstances, he's keeping up with XM.
Oh, but he's in trouble.
He has been found now, and XXS is ready to use that Stampede to stay on top of him. He does get the Sunder off, but it's not really going to matter. Has to take these risks and farm in such locations, but will, of course, mean that once and again, Xtreme Gaming, they'll find Radon.
Dyer's
And they
top
might start
tower
heading
has
down
been
mid to
destroyed.
Ame. Amp damage with this Aegis, getting close to a butterfly. No realms of anything to deal with that anytime soon on the side of Spirit. I think it could be another one of those 25-minute high ground pushes. It does feel like it's culminating to that.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Spirit
attack.
trying to find what they can on the map, trying to get these next items.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Will they get the time? And look at the positioning from Mira. He's just trying to like cut waves, but he's caught.
Oh, he's dead. Bye-bye.
That's like him like trying to D-ward to catch a wave because they're looking to just take this mid-rax.
This is great. 22 minutes in,
Even
and you got Arme on the Medusa hitting your high ground.
full Greaves on DY. This is a super farmed Undying.
Try and get the jump onto DY. Collapses in with the follow-up. They'll burst through the Undying. Arena's there, if anything, to just sort of hold them back and give them a chance to back away from this.
He does respawn instantly though, so Undying, he's coming right back to that fray.
Radiant's
And this push is going to keep on coming from Xtreme. Fortification comes out. Spirit, what can they do to hold without the Arena? They still have the Supernova.
They've got the blink on the Bat Rider when he's respawning in 2 seconds. Let's see if they can get some big repositioning.
Next creep wave about to come in. The backdoor protection's gone. Arme's up to the high ground.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
There's Arme. Who goes on him? Who wants to go on him? Radan is going to do his best, cutting the creeps. The range racks are gone. Next access is in with a jump. Collapse presents itself immediately. There on top of it. Collapse is gone.
Miposhka?
He's going to dive away just in time to assassinate. Here it comes. Ooh, not enough.
But the
He'll
Rax,
live.
it's actually backdoor does kick back in, so they will keep that alive with their
Radan,
bodies.
he is indeed. He's keeping the melee rack safe.
But they know he's cutting it. XXS, he's gonna go catch the illusions at the least.
Radan, he's got to hide.
They're gonna escort the wave.
I mean, he's got this invis room, but he can't do anything crazy with it. He kind of wants to.
XXS is just, he's bodying the wave, you know, making sure that Yatoro,
Yeah.
Radan can't cut it.
He'll settle for a courier. I mean, Radan just trying to draw any sort of focus away from the high ground of his base.
Here comes that push again, though.
Radiant's middle barracks.
And they can even transition it toward bottom if they have this creep still alive. Jinkyu's already immediately
I
running
think
there.
they're certainly going to want to. They know at this point, Spirit, what do they do against this sort of push coming at them at 24 minutes in?
Ame's got the butterfly. There's just no damage on Spirit to deal with this. They'll get rid of the creeps. So XG might have to just back up and deal with that. So they're being pesky. Trying to delay as long as possible, but it's not building into any of these big items just yet. They need so much more time for Radan. The time does not feel like it's favoring him too much as this Medusa's just 7,000 ahead of him. Level 18 as well.
Radiant are scanning.
Mira.
Oh.
They just drop a
He'll drop a
tombstone.
tombstone for that. He's like, well, you can bump me back with the flame break into a little corner on the cliff, but I'll just drop down the tombstone and take you out with the zombies.
They'll go top. Ame, he's got a catapult up here. And again, now they're going to escort this wave to probably look for that tier 2 push. For Spirit, I mean, what do you do? How do you stop the push?
I mean,
they're trying their best to cut the waves.
Yeah.
The push is coming.
They kind of have to keep sacrificing their supports just to
Think
keep
so.
the game alive.
There's no way they can fight. Head-on battle is just impossible. And I feel like the Fountain is their strongest ally at this point if they can get them somehow pulled into there, but
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
XG's playing it clean. Sticking together, sticking with this wave.
Radiant's
See how much they
top
want to
tower
push it.
has fallen.
They don't have the Aegis, but I don't think they'll mind. They know how strong they are with this lead, Xtreme Gaming. Smoke up. Team Spirit, they remain in the base, leaving this high ground
Bottom tower is under
very,
attack.
very risky for them right now.
This is like a sweep, I feel, for XG, right? They push top, and then they're like, okay, they're going to try to cut waves and stuff like that. Let's sweep across the map, catch anybody who's trying to do so. But Spirit, they're actually just in their base anyway, so it does its effect. Just making sure that they can't get outside. And just continuing to grow this lead even more. Success.
And they're starting to step up the base a bit, Spirit.
He has 3,700 HP with a Crimson. Like, if they even throw everything onto him, it might not be enough.
They're going to maybe try catch them by surprise, Spirit.
I mean, this is you have to do something quirky.
I mean, with the vision being taken out.
They still have that one ward, Radon.
They do. You're going to see DY. Mirror's going to get the jump in with the lasso. They get the drag back. Exorcist him with the jump. Who stops straight away over towards Mirror. Mirror's
Crimson.
gone. And now immediately they move towards Radon. Radon, is there any way to get him out of this? He'll turn with the Sunder, pop the Manta, move towards Arme. They get the Dragon Tail off, but Arme, he's got so much mana, so much sustainability. They cannot kill him off. Radon will
He just
fall.
fights
They
through it.
take the egg down, and one more hit. They actually can't get it off. The Supernova successful. Miposhka will survive with the ultimate, but can Spirit live through this fight? Lyle's trying to battle back, but Arme's too strong. Double kill for him. Mega kill streak for XM. There's only Miposhka survives. Xtreme, they lose nothing, and they're ready to come barreling down the bottom lane.
They pop the Crimson. It blocks an unbelievable amount of damage. And Radon drops first. They need him as long as possible. That looks like it just might be it. 21,000 gold lead. They couldn't kill anybody.
They really couldn't. And now there's a full pipe on top of it all. Exorcist has managed to add to his inventory. They'll move up towards the top lane. Xtreme.
That was their all-in fight, and yeah, couldn't bring down a single target. XG just too damn strong, too far ahead.
Jinq. Seeing what sort of response he can get. He'll get another buyback coming out. Spirit. It's maybe their final fight. They're going to try and give it everything they've got, but Mirror's already been caught by the Husum. Mirror's gone. Out for 45. No buyback available on him. The top racks have been taken. Lal to fall. Out for 75. The mega creeps are out. Xtreme Gaming here, moments away from what it feels like knocking Team Spirit out of the competition. As they get the jump onto Radon. The Terrorblades out. No buyback available for him. GG has been called. It's the end of the road here for Team Spirit. Xtreme Gaming will be the ones to move on today.
At the back of the Medusa and the XM Sniper, the two games that they decimate this Sniper XM. He's out of control. These rotations, he's matching the DK's moves. Laro's first move with his blink actually gets matched by the Sniper, and the game explodes from there. It was very, very slow, where it like 1 to 2k gold lead. Then after that move, goes to a 4k, 5k lead.